neodymium, and how dangerous is it for your aquarium, and how important is it to be measured by an ICP test system? That's the question that Shane Danger Coleman asked us a while ago, and it's coming up more and more often in our community because of some marketing that is carried out around it, based on icp-ms to be able to measure neodymium. And that's fearing a lot of people. They get fear that some magnet could cause little bits of neodymium being in the water and killing animals. And I would like to do this video to tell you that this is not the case. Okay, so this is not a realistic issue in a reef aquarium, and it's more marketing to sell you something. The realistic thing is that we have done testing. We told Shane in the past, and Shane also will write in Reef Builder's article, I think, about this issue, because he asked us and we did some testing for him, we did some testing for you. So realistic is that magnet contains only 20% neodymium. Okay, so 20% neodymium, 70% iron, and the rest of it are other like metals, right? And they are very important. So we did the test on some iron, some magnets for you, and I'll show you in a second. So we used a control sample, which is just seawater. We used a acidified seawater sample where we dropped the magnet in, neodymium magnet, so to show you what will kind of happen to this thing when it's exposed to acid, which is absolutely different to seawater. And then we have obviously used the seawater sample that is very important for you. That's the main one, where you just drop the magnet inside, and we can compare these samples to find out what's really happening when a magnet will be exposed to your seawater, right? And you can do that at home too, actually, same way. And you can send it to us, but we did it for you to show you. And what really happened there is that we tested these solutions 1 day, 24 hours after exposure, and 7 days after exposure, right? To see what happens. And what happened might be a bit, surprising for you, not surprising for us because we did that beforehand. But what happened was that nickel came out first, really high, right? A massive amount of nickel in that samples, in all samples that had the magnet in them. And that's because of the coating of this magnet. So the magnet itself is a core of neodymium and iron, but the core is covered in a nickel copper nickel or nickel zinc nickel kind of coating to protect that core. And this is obviously the first thing that will have contact to your water, and this is also the first thing you will see massively spiking in one of your samples, right? So we don't even need to look at neodymium because other metals are way better soluble, like nickel, and they'll have this coating that comes off the magnet right away. And that's what is showing you have an issue, and every ICP OES system will tell you that there is a nickel problem and you need to do a water change or do something about it, right? So the realistic thing that happens with a magnet like that is not that you get neodymium out of it because it's covered in nickel. So nickel will be the first thing, copper will be the first thing, zinc will be the first thing. So this is the things you look at. Actually, if you have a nickel copper or nickel zinc kind of fingerprint, you can go and look at your magnets, but that's the realistic thing. So there's no issue, no need for measuring neodymium. That is a very rare metal that can't dissolve really well in seawater anyway, like iron. You can't really dissolve it, so you use all GFO, and that's iron, so you're not finding it in your ICP tests. And that's the same thing. So you need to look at other metals more. They will dissolve first, and they will warn you about an issue with magnets, with other metals and whatever, right? So no panic, no fear, everything is all right. The other thing that I want to tell you is that this is really rare. So a magnet issue is not that often anymore. It was in the past a bit more often, but now there is really low amount of magnet issues, and if you will find other metals first, okay? So just to let you know, if you have any questions, just write them down here. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.